Thank you. I can see that we have self-selected ourselves to a smaller group than yesterday, which is wonderful. So it gives me great pleasure to also welcome Anne Maston, the co-chair for this particular forum, with me to join us today. And Anne actually attended the whole session yesterday remotely. So she watched all the proceedings via webcast, which tells me that the webcast went flawlessly. So I'm conscious of time today, and I'm not going to summarize the whole day yesterday. I thought it was a fascinating day. It had a vast array of subjects and areas to cover, which the speakers covered with great aplomb. In fact, I think I have not attended a meeting with such a range of things discussed, from the biology to the indicators to the varied experiences from the ground, particularly from low-income settings, of trying to implement this in a range of landscapes. I thought yesterday also raised a number of questions. Some of these will be discussed today, both in our open and closed forums. But I'd like to pass the floor to Anne to make some opening statements and then perhaps get into the session.
Well, I'm very happy to be here in person today, and I especially want to welcome everybody who is attending by webcast, as well as in our spillover room, having experienced that yesterday. And it is working very well, although it's harder to comment and raise your hand. So I want to encourage everyone in the other remote locations to go ahead and make comments. Another nice feature of the webcast is I could follow all the tweeting that was going on from this room as it came up live. I just wanted to share a very few reactions. I was struck by what this forum represents in terms of the opportunities for a learning community, as I observed and listened to everyone, and a learning community that extends beyond the room we're sitting in here, extends to all the people who connect to us through our activities and other learning environments. I also thought that there were a tremendous number of rich ideas presented yesterday, and I imagine some of them were familiar to people in the room, and then there were ideas that were unexpected. And I find myself always in this kind of a forum, it catches my ear and my eye when I see or hear something unexpected. And so I wanted to comment a little bit on that. We're here talking today and yesterday about the costs of inaction. A lot of the material yesterday was about the costs of action. And I thought it was very interesting, the idea that there can be unexpected costs to success or to action that we need to be thoughtful about. I thought it was very interesting to hear about some of the potential resources on the ground all over the world, both in the form of caregivers as well as in the form of humanitarian and other health workers that are very knowledgeable and operating in communities around the world. And I thought it was interesting to hear about some unexpected indicators, markers of progress and change that we wouldn't necessarily always think about. It was also clear yesterday, listening, that there are a number of issues and challenges that are being put out on the table. It is a very complex process to think about human development and the windows of opportunity and vulnerability, even during this period that we're talking about. We're focusing on conception to around age 8 or 9. There's still a lot of opportunities and vulnerabilities that we're just beginning to put together and integrate, and figuring out where the leverage might be for change is a challenge. It also was striking that there are going to be some issues in defining positive development, that once you move beyond survival, that the definitions of thriving or positive development may not be quite so straightforward as surviving. I also thought it was very interesting to think about both harmonizing and synergy on the one hand, and the issues of specificity and segmentation on the other, that we have to keep both of those in mind. But basically, I was just struck by the richness and opportunities represented by the activities that we're engaged in, and I think we'll just roll on forward today with those possibilities. And should I go ahead now and
Yes.
introduce the speaker? Well, it's my honor to introduce our keynote speaker today, who's sitting right in front of me here, Dr. Peter Singer. And I understand Zulfi knows him very well, and he is extremely well known around the world for the creative solutions he has been engaged in to solving some of the most difficult health challenges for the world's poorest people. He is the Chief Executive Officer of Grand Challenges Canada, and also the director at the Sandra Rotman Center at the University Health Network, and professor of medicine at the University of Toronto. He's also the Foreign Secretary of the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences. So he is, on the one hand, a fellow of the Royal Society of Canada and the Canadian Academy of Health Sciences, and also a member of the U.S. Institute of Medicine here, and the Academy of Sciences of the Developing World. He has co-authored the book, The Grandest Challenge, Taking Life-Saving Science from Lab to Village, and he's, I think, a wonderful speaker to get us started today. Welcome, Dr. Singer.